Just, man, enjoy it. It's gonna hurt. Don't ask if it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You know, like, it really is gonna hurt, but it'll be cool. It'll be great. It's a totally cool feeling.
It don't matter where you are in your life. You don't have to do it by yourself. It don't matter what you need. Colin can help.
Freely, have to put it to work. So let's move a little bit away from music real quick.
Sure.
You do tattooing to people, right? You're a tattoo
I do.
artist?
Yeah, I do.
What is that like? Like you said, kind of music and other art is kind of an evolving process. That one you got to get it right on the first time because it's there forever. Like, what was that like the first couple of times, or as you got the comfort learning that skill?
That's a great question. Cool. All right. Cool. Yeah, the first time was crazy, dude. It was like my neighbor, literally, he was just like, kind of nuts. And he was just like, one day he's like, hey, you could draw, right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you want to do this tattoo on me? And I was like, no. I was like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. He's like, I know, it's cool. I was like, I don't know. I was scared, man. I did not want to do it, really. Like, I was pretty not about it. But I always wanted tattoos. Like, as a kid, I was like, punk rock, punk, yeah. So, like, I had an interest in them, but I never thought I would do them. And, yeah, I tattooed this kid, like, on my mom's patio. Just, like, he knew I didn't know what I was doing, and I tried it out, and, like, it actually looked pretty good. And I was like, shit, that's kind of cool. And from there, literally, it was, like, my buddy, shout out Billy Matsumoto. Check him out, super talented dude. But yeah, he invested in my machine and everything because I didn't have the money at the time, and he was like, dude, I think you should tattoo. Like, fronted me the money for it. And yeah, I've been tattooing ever since, like 9 years almost. I took like a good 2-year break, and then started getting more into it. But did that answer your question even?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Have you ever done one where you were like, uh-oh?
I may have had like a moment, not really that I remember, like, I remember I did tattoo a super elderly vet, and he got like a vet tattoo, something, I can't remember exactly, it was like a dagger or something, but it was like a patch or an emblem, so it was really important to him, and it was awesome. I was like honored to do it, but his skin was just so
frail.
Yeah, it was so dry and like just wrinkly and thin, and like I was like, this is gonna be rough to get through, I knew it would be okay, but that was probably the one time I was like, oh man, like stretching the skin. I'm like, I think I bit off more than I could chew here, but yeah, it turned out good. Plus, he could handle the pain. He was a pretty hardcore dude, so like I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to really get in here because your skin's old and wrinkly. And he's like, I know.
Gotcha. Is that something that you kind of taught yourself, the different techniques through YouTube videos, or just trial and error?
At first, it was definitely YouTube. Yeah, at first it was definitely YouTube, and I tattooed like all my thighs and like half of my left leg. Before I tattooed like many people. I had a couple friends that were like, oh dude, go for it. So they still have those. Funny to look back on as well. You're like, oh, glad I got better at those. But
it's a worry that you pass out if you tattoo yourself, isn't it? I had a buddy that kind of started to get into it, and he said it was a completely different experience tattooing himself opposed to like other people.
Oh, like I feel like tattooing myself is harder than if you were to tattoo me, like, or if I'm getting tattooed. That's one thing. Tattooing myself, it just like hurts more. I'm just like, I don't know, maybe it's just psychologically like you have to put it down, where like usually the artist is just going and you're just at his pace. Like whenever he puts it down, that's when you're in pain. So like, I don't know, it's just like that, like, okay, and you're like, all right, let's go. I think it definitely does it's a totally different experience. I think you would know if you were gonna pass out before it got to that point. Like if I started feeling that way, I would just be like, I'm done.
I think it's also kind of like your brain is telling yourself, why the fuck are we stabbing ourselves?
For sure.
Kind of like your brain's trying to shut it down, even though your brain's also trying to be like, no, we want it to look like this.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. Like I've had things turn out on my leg where I'm like, oh, it's so light. Like I was just going light because I didn't want more pain. I was like, this hurts good enough. I'll stay here. But yeah, it is a super weird thing. I don't know. But tattooing yourself's raw. Do it. Like for sure.
And as somebody that was looking,
just be clean.
Hygiene,
sterilize everything. Like if you're gonna do it, like be smart. Don't be dumb.
So other than hygiene and sterilization, if somebody wanted to get a tattoo, as somebody that has tattoos and gives tattoos, what's your piece of recommendation before you go and get it done? Do you have any words of wisdoms for the newbies?
Man, yeah, I guess make sure you want it, and yeah, just get in a good headspace, man. Enjoy it. It's gonna hurt. Don't ask if it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You know, like it really is gonna hurt, but it'll be cool. It'll be great. It's a totally cool feeling. It kind of sucks. It's kind of awesome. You know, that's what makes it a whole experience. It's like jumping out of a plane or something. Like you're like super scared, you do it, and you're like, that was insane. But tattoos, you have it forever, so it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do it.
Just be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it. If you want a tattoo, do it.
Or just call you and have you do it, right?
I'll do it. Yeah. Actually, don't call me right now. My books are closed.
Books are closed. Can't even get one of you. Limited edition's over.
Not right now. I got a list.
Nice. And how I